new class. Now, we were discussing about the distillation process by which we can separate the mixture of two miscible liquids, like the mixture of water and alcohol. We have already told you that when the difference in the boiling point, difference in the boiling point of the liquids is below 25 degrees Celsius, can be separated by fractional distillation, and if more than this can be separated from simple distillation. This is a setup of simple distillation method in which two liquids differing in their boiling points by more than 25 degrees Celsius can be separated by this process. In this process, there is a distillation flask in which the neck of the flask is provided with a delivery tube. Now it is connected to the condenser, and a thermometer fitted in a cork is fixed in the mouth of this round bottom flask. Now flask is placed on the wire gauge and it is fixed to a stand erect with the help of a stand clamp. Here condenser is also fixed with the stand clamp. Now if we start heating the mixture, the initial temperature starts rising and it rises up to a certain limit. When the temperature becomes constant, which can be observed by this thermometer, it means boiling of the first component having lower boiling point starts boiling, and the vapor of this liquid starts rising up. As the vapors rise up, they pass through the condenser, the interior tube of the condenser, which is surrounded by the water jacket. In this water jacket, ice cold water is introduced, which cools down the steam or the vapor, hot vapor passing through the tube and gets condensed into liquid. The water in the jacket comes out being warm, that is warm water. This is the outlet of warm water. In this way, the distillation is performed. After the completion of the distillation of first liquid, the temperature further rises and or starts rising, and as we observe that there is a rise in temperature again, we remove the receiver here, and the next liquid, that is liquid left behind in the flask, starts rising its temperature, and at a particular temperature it attains the stationary temperature and further starts boiling. Now at some higher temperature, this liquid also passes through the condenser in the form of vapor and gets condensed and received in the another receiver. In this way, we can separate both the liquids from each other by this simple distillation method. Now we are going to discuss about the separation of two or more miscible liquids present together whose difference in boiling points is less than 20 degrees Celsius, means 10 degree, 15 degree, and so on. So, why do we use fractional distillation method for the separation of such a mixture of two or more liquids whose boiling point differences is less than 20 degree? This is because if we try to distill them or separate them by simple distillation method, the boiling point difference being a smaller than the simple distillation method, we see that two or more liquids may get evaporated simultaneously and they rises up in the form of their vapors and may pass through the condenser, tube of the condenser, and get liquefied. So, we will not receive the pure component of the liquid, because we may get two or more liquids mixed together even after distillation. That is why the fractional distillation is used to separate the components of a mixture having boiling point differences less than 20 degrees Celsius. So, for this we have to use another experimental setup in which the liquid is taken in a distillation flask, and in this distillation flask there is a fractionating column that is added, that is joined to the first flask, distillation flask in which the liquid is taken. So, another modification in this figure is here. We have to use a fractionating column here. See here, there is another additional flask, means a distillation, means fractionating column. This is a fractionating column in which glass beads are filled, and this glass bead provides narrow passages across these beads through which the vapor of the gas mixture may arise. Now, this fractionating column is also provided with a side tube and a thermometer in this, so that we can measure the temperature. Now, this is connected to the condenser through which the liquid passes, and it is cooled with ice cold water, and the upper exit tube is provided here to pass the warm water out of this jacket, and a condenser is placed here to collect the distilled liquid. See here, this is a fractionating column which is fitted with the distillation flask, and the flask is fitted or adjusted with the help of a stand clamp. This fractionating column is also fixed with the stand clamp as before, so that it wouldn't get tilted or damaged. Now, the fractionating column, the neck of the fractionating column is also provided with a delivery tube, and in the mouth of this fractionating column the thermometer is provided. This condenser is stand at its position with the help of another stand clamp, so that it wouldn't get disturbed or would remain at its own position, and the receiver is placed at some other platform to receive the condensed liquid. Now see here, as the liquid is being warmed, the liquid starts boiling, and there may be the boiling of two or more liquids at the same time, because the difference in their boiling points is very narrow. That is why there is a possibility of evaporating more than one liquid at a time. So as the mixture of liquid vapors rises up and passes through the fractionating column, the vapors of the liquid whose boiling point is greater than the other gets condensed to liquid again, because being the boiling point higher than the first liquid, it gets condensed just after cooling to some extent, and after being cooled, the vapor gets condensed into liquid and drops back into the flask. Only the fraction of the liquid whose boiling point is lowest, the vapors of this liquid rises up above the or across the beads, glass beads filled inside the distillation fractionating column, and rises up and passes through this condenser and gets liquefied, and ultimately the liquids gets collected in this receiver. So when the temperature of the mixture remains constant, we understand that the boiling of first liquid is continued. As soon as temperature starts rising, we see that the first liquid gets separated in this way, then the receiver is removed and another receiver is placed here. Now heating is continued, as a result of which the further there is rise in temperature, and again attains the maximum temperature of the boiling point of the second liquid, and it starts boiling. After passing through the beads of the fractionating column, the more liquids having two or more mixture of two or more vapors, then the vapor having the lower boiling point rises up across these beads, and the vapors of the liquid having lower boiling point again gets cooled, and after being cooled they get converted into liquid and again comes back to the flask. In this way, the second liquid whose among these liquids which are already present in this flask, the second liquid whose boiling point is lower than the others rises up across the beads in the fractionating column and then passes through the condenser, and due to the contact of ice cold water they get liquefied and get collected in the receiver. In this way we can separate the different components one by one by this method. So this is called the separation of two or more liquids with the fractionating column, or thus this process is known as distillation through fractional distillation method. Means separation of components with the fractionating column or the fractional distillation. The process is called fractional distillation. The fractional distillation has a very wide application in various processes, like the separation of different components of petroleum during its refining. The petroleum, which is a crude oil containing enormously large number of complex organic materials along with the various impurities, when the entire components of a petroleum are liquefied at some higher temperature, vaporized at some higher temperature above 450 degrees Celsius, then entire component of the petroleum gets vaporized. They can be converted into vapors, and these vapors, when allowed to rise up or passes up in the fractionating column, that is large tower-like fractionating column having different levels to receive the components after cooling. The different components gets liquefied at different heights, because as the mixture of vapor rises up in the fractionating column, they get cooled down at different levels, different temperature range, and the components having the lowest boiling point rises up to the highest position, and even then certain fractions remained in liquefied state. Such components are obtained in the form of gaseous component, just like LPG, ethane, methane and propane, ethane, methane, propane and butane. These are the gaseous components which remain unliquefied. So at the lowest portion, the asphalt is obtained. Above this, the wax, diesel, kerosene oil, fuel oil, petroleum, gasoline and so on. So different components are obtained through this fractional distillation method. In the same way, the different components of air, means we know that the major components of gases present in air are nitrogen, oxygen and argon. Other than this, there may be carbon dioxide and moisture and so on. All these things are present in gaseous mixture, homogeneous gaseous mixture of air. So if anyone want to separate the different components of a gas, the fractional distillation method is used here also. In this method, the air is first passed through the filtration chamber. In the filtration chamber, the dust particles and other suspended particles get separated as it is passed through the filtration chamber. After filtration chamber, the filtered air is passed into the compression chamber. In the compression chamber, the components get compressed to some higher pressure, as a result of which the temperature of the gaseous mixture gets increased. So this highly compressed gas is then passed into the cooling chamber, where the temperature of this hot gas mixture gets cooled down, lowered, as a result of which, first of all, carbon dioxide is separated. Carbon dioxide gets liquefied and it is taken out of the mixture. Now the mixture mainly contains nitrogen, oxygen and argon. Now this cooled and compressed gaseous mixture is then allowed to pass through a narrow nozzle into a vacuum chamber, as a result of which the gas expands against zero pressure, as a result of which there is a drop in temperature of the gas, means air. This is repeated again and again, that is compression and expansion. This process is continued up to the limit where the gas mixture gets liquefied. All the gas gets liquefied. Now these liquefied gases are allowed to heat, as a result of which at first the oxygen gets separated, means during liquefaction the oxygen gets separated first. Why? Because the boiling point of oxygen is minus 183 degrees Celsius. Further, the second component, that is argon, it is separated at minus 186 degrees Celsius. And then at last nitrogen is separated at minus 196 degrees Celsius. So the difference in the temperature, boiling point of these three components are very narrow, but due to fractional distillation they can be separated from each other. First of all, the gas, means air, is liquefied at very much less temperature, that is lower than the boiling point of all these three liquids, and then they are allowed to evaporate by rising their temperature and can be separated from each other by the process of fractional distillation. So this can be done by liquefaction as well as fractional distillation in the different steps. So these are the uses of fractional distillation. Now we will study about the rest topic in the next video. Thank you.